So this is a very special opportunity that we have to put some questions to Dadi and to explore with Dadi in more depth some of the themes that... On है Dadi?
Yeah, ठीक चल रहा है.
सुना नहीं देते?
सुनाई पड़ता है?
Yeah.
अच्छा ठीक.
To explore with Dadi some of the themes that have been taken up over recent days and Baba's signals that he's been giving us. And it's a great honor to interview Dadi, and also a challenge, because sometimes Dadi turns it around and starts interviewing you. And in fact, somebody suggested, why don't you let Dadi interview you instead? I said, no, thank you. She knows too much about me. I'd be terrified. But it's my privilege to interview Dadi. Samjha, Dadi? नहीं,
माइक पर बोल रहा.
मोरिन बहन बता रही है कि
So,
वैसे तो मुझे बहुत आज खुशी है कि दादी
Meera is saying,
प्रश्न पूछने का मौका मिला है.
it's a great opportunity for me to ask questions to Dadi ji. But then sometimes I think that Dadi Janki should ask questions. But if she asks questions about me, then she knows a lot about me. So it's better that I interview Dadi instead of she interviewing me. And then Dadi says, yes, it would be nice, interesting that I will interview you one day.
So Dadi,
So
everybody's request is
Dadi, everyone's request is to go more into the depth of the experience of being incorporeal, egoless and viceless, as this is Baba's signal for the coming year. Dadi had talked about the use of the mind and intellect in this, and she particularly used this phrase, making the intellect quiet. So I would like Dadi to explain more about that, how to keep the how to make the intellect quiet.
When really we go beyond the mind and we use the intellect in this special...
So how do we make the intellect quiet? Do we go beyond thoughts to do this? Do we go beyond the mind to do this? Can we be merged in this incorporeal stage and lost in Baba's love when we go beyond the use of the mind? So Meera Ben is saying that all of us have been told by Baba that we have to experience the incorporeal, egoless and the viceless stage, and Dadi said in the class that we have to make how to use the mind and intellect in this, that's important. So Dadi has said that the intellect has to be made very quiet. So what is the meaning of saying to keep the intellect quiet? Does it also mean that we do not use the mind, or we do not use the intellect? Then what do we use? So, or is it that it's good to churn what Baba speaks, because whatever Baba speaks, that touches the heart. And I'm seeing that how everyone is churning on this and also discussing on this. What is incorporeal, egoless and viceless stage? Everyone is talking about it, even the young ones, the older ones. So in the mind, on the lips, in the heart, everyone, if we are speaking of that, then where will ego remain? Ego will run away. Though ego has shown its fullest form in the world, but it cannot show itself to the children. Why? Because I'm always being told that please give the answer in short. So it's not a question of mind and intellect. The answer, this is the answer. The answer is that I was saying the other day that my mother is egoless and my father is incorporeal. My father is incorporeal and my mother is egoless. So I automatically become viceless. Is it not so easy?
मैं बच्चा हूँ,
Because I'm the child.
बच्चा और
And
पहले विकारी से अभी निर्विकारी मर्जीवा जन्म
I
है,
have taken a new birth. I have died alive. So when I have met the incorporeal father, I automatically become incorporeal. So all that which belongs to this world finishes here, because Baba has reminded me of the soul world and he is my father. I dwell with him in the soul world. And also the body in whom he descends is my mother, and that mother of mine is egoless. So just imagine, my father is incorporeal and my mother is egoless, and I'm in between the mother and father, so I automatically become viceless. Do you want any other answer shorter than this? Are you satisfied?
Family, that's it, right?
Are you satisfied with this? See, and Dadi is telling that doctor of Mauritius who has come with his, the whole family, mother, father, children, all are here. So Dadi is saying that when I think of the father as incorporeal, mother as egoless, automatically the ego goes from my intellect. Then the question of what to do, how to do doesn't arise.
In the early days,
So Maureen is saying that in the early days in the yagya,
pulled you all into
Baba
that stage.
pulled
There was
you
no effort.
all in that stage.
Are we now
There
coming to a
wasn't
point
much
of
effort
the
for
end of
that.
Sangam
So
Yuga?
now as we are coming at the
There's
end
going
of
to be that
Sangam Yuga,
atmosphere where Baba
do
just
you feel
pulls
that
us
the
into
same
stage.
atmosphere will be
There's no
created when we won't need any more effort? The pull will be there so strong that there won't be any need of making efforts at all. So Miraben is repeating. So just at the beginning, you didn't have to make efforts, you were pulled. Similarly, will the same stage be experienced at the end when there won't be any pull, when there won't be any effort? And in between, have you ever battled with ego? Have you ever battled with ego?
Ego ke baare mein.
मेरी पर्सनल बात छोड़ो, अभी मैं
And Daddy is saying, don't talk, let me not tell anything about my personal thing now, but what you said earlier, let me tell you, during those days as well as
जो यहाँ बैठे हुए हैं ना,
during and even now, all of you who are sitting here, just as I can say that Baba has pulled all of you
अव्यक्त रूप में है,
and
तो
made you belong to him. It's not that only we were pulled and we became Babas, but even you have been pulled and have come to be belong to Baba. Actually, when there's a pull, then that one doesn't listen to anyone, doesn't see anything. So God's pull is so strong that it overcomes all other pulls of this world. It elevates the intellect very easily because it's a pure pull. It reminds the soul of its original nature, and therefore the soul begins to fly. And so Baba hasn't left his service of pulling the children, and he's still continuing. And then when you asked about ego, that ego which interferes, yes, I have checked myself, I have taken care of myself. That's why I'm alive today with Baba. But I'm not alive just reluctantly, but I'm alive happily. Some people live reluctantly. They are alive reluctantly in the sense they have become Babas now. The pull of the world is there and they don't know what to do. They can't leave Baba and they can't go back to the world, so they are like in between. But I can say that it's not the same with me because I don't feel that I've had to make efforts to be happy, or somebody else had to make efforts to make me happy, because I never created any problem, never became a problem that made others have a thought that let me make this one happy, or that someone was concerned about me, that this was not happy, so let me make her happy. No.
जैसे बाबा की
But
सर्विस
right
है,
from the beginning,
अपने बच्चों को
as it's Baba's service to
फिर
pull
बाबा
the
देखता है,
children
वो
towards
मेरा बच्चा
himself,
है, फिर
I'm seeing that my stage
नंबरवार
has
पुरुषार्थ,
continued from the beginning till
पुरुषार्थ
now.
का नंबरवार है।
But yes, Baba does say that
तो
each
बाबा
one's
ना
efforts
का
are
तरीका
number
जो है
wise,
ना,
but Baba's way
दूर बैठे
of
कहाँ
pulling
बैठे
the
सामने आया
souls
और
towards
उसको
him
दी।
is still the same. Like the soul is sitting somewhere
बन
in
करके
any part
रहे
of the
वो उनका
world,
काम
and
है।
God pulls that soul towards Baba. But then to
अच्छा
maintain
बन
that
करके
stage and
उसमें
to remain Baba's child, for that the child
अच्छा बन
needs
के
his
रहने
own
के लिए
efforts.
आज्ञाकारी,
And for that, the
वफादार,
child has to become obedient, faithful, loyal.
ये तीन बातें
These three things are essential. Then we can maintain that stage. We should say, yes, Baba, whatever you say. So as the first question was that, not we tell the mind, be quiet, but the mind becomes obedient and is satisfied. And also, they say in Bhakti, God, give me a pure intellect, give me wisdom. So, intellect means wisdom. But before we got the wisdom, the intellect was without wisdom, and therefore it was pulled by the mind. And the mind was naughty. Now the mind has become obedient, and the intellect has wisdom, and therefore there is loyalty, there is faithfulness. It's like am committed only to one, committed to one Father, committed to one Beloved. And where behavior is concerned with people, I'm very, very honest. So,
जब से बाबा के बने, बाबा कहेंगे ये आज्ञाकारी, वफादार, ईमानदार।
so if I am that, then Baba will say, yes, this one is my obedient, faithful, loyal, honest child. And Maureen says, very good. So it's not just Maureen who's asking me, but she's asking me on behalf of all of you. Is it okay? She's asking on behalf of all of you. And Maureen says that you said at some point that the yoga you have is different from the yoga you have. The yoga I have is different from the yoga you have. So you need so much power to be obedient, faithful, honest, loyal. So some have this strength, some don't. And how will the souls have that stage? So everyone wants to have that stage, but then they need that power to be that, is it not? It's not that nobody wants, but everybody wants to be faithful, to be loyal, to be honest, to be obedient. And from where will the strength come? That is, the strength will come by becoming that, is it not? The answer is of a second. You just become that.
What is the difference between your
So,
yoga
no.
and our yoga then?
So then Maureen says, then what's the difference between your yoga and my yoga? And Dadi Janki is saying, yes, I told you what is in my mind. When I said, yes, I'm Baba's child, on one hand we say, Baba, I'm Baba's child, but then on the other hand, how much am I able to really really have that effect on others? Because what is it? What is yoga? Yoga means faithfulness. Yoga means loyalty. So it's with the wisdom, with the understanding. So in the look equal to a child knows that this one is my mother, but then there isn't much experience. But here we have made Baba our mother, not because somebody has told me, but then it's with understanding, with experience. It's with wisdom that yes, Brahma Baba is my original mother. And and I
बाप
receive
ने जो खींच
the
के
love
इधर उधर से खींच
of a
करके
mother.
इस माँ के गोदी में दिया है तो ये समझा है हमको
It's like, when the
समझ से
father
गोद में आया है
has pulled me and given me in the
ऐसे नहीं
mother's
आया
lap.
है कोई नहीं
So
बिना
we have
समझे के
come with
माँ
the
बाप को दे
understanding, with
करके
the
आए
wisdom.
हैं
We
ना
haven't come just
बेचारे
like that.
उतनी
Those
जल्दी
who have come without the understanding have not been
यानी
able
यहाँ
to stay long.
कोई माँ बाप को देख
So,
करके या किसी के कहने पर आ गए
some who
फिर
have
धीरे
come because
चलेंगे
others have told them to come, and that's why they are here.
फिर माया
They
के बन
won't
गए
be able to stay long.
क्यों
They
दिल
are
से
then
नहीं बने
pulled by
समझ से
Maya
नहीं बने
again, because they do not become
जो दिल
Baba's
से बने
children
हैं
from the
समझ से
heart.
बने हैं
So those who
उनको कोई
become
बाहरी दुनिया
Babas
खींच नहीं
from the
सकती
heart and with proper understanding, then
उसको
nothing of the
आज्ञाकारी
world
होकर
can pull
रहने
their
में
intellect. And
अंदर
for
से
them,
लगता
it's
है
not at
ये
all
जैसे कि
difficult to
मैंने
stay
कोई दिल बना
obedient,
है
honest, faithful, loyal. Because they think
आज्ञाकारी
that if we are
आज्ञाकारी बनने
that,
में
it's
कितना
for
नुकसान
our
है
benefit and also the
अच्छा
harm we
मैं
will
बाबा का
get
आज्ञाकारी
if we
नहीं
are not
बनेगा
that.
अपने मत से चलेंगे
Okay, if someone is not
जब अपने मत से
faithful, someone
चलेगा
is
उसको
not
और भी चलाएंगे
not
अपने मत पर
obedient, that means he's using his
तो घर
own,
बंधन
the
का हिसाब तो
dictates of
करना ही
his
है
own mind or dictates of others.
आज्ञाकारी बन बाबा का
That means
आज्ञाकारी बनने से हमको एक बार अंदर से जैसे कहते हैं
that
ना मेरा
means
डिक्टेशन अलग है
he
माना मैं
is
समझ सोच
losing,
के
is
मुझे
it
लगा
not? He's not getting any benefit.
ऐसे ठक्के के
So when I
छोटे छोटे
said
सौदा
that
करते
my
हैं
yoga is different from
उसका
your
होता है
yoga is that
अनुभव होता है
I don't
वही जो
have
है ना
to
बात सच्ची बात तो ये है
labor to make myself
अगर
understand
मैं
this,
ये समझो
that I should be
एक
following
बारी
the
बाबा ने
dictates
कहा
of
था
Baba
बच्चे
alone
एक
and
बारी
none
जो कोई
other.
सेवा में आके ना
I
करता है वो
remember
नास्तिक
once
बन जाता
Baba said that if
है
someone
सबसे
says
ये
no
याद है
to
ना सेवा वाला
service,
नास्तिक
then he becomes an
दूसरा
atheist.
अगर
So
बाप को याद
also,
करके और किसकी याद आती
if
है
someone
तो इतना
says
पकड़
that he
लेते
belongs
हैं
to
मतलब
Baba
फिर
and
याद नहीं
then he
सकते
remembers anyone else, then it's
वो कर्म
difficult for
बंधन में
him
जाता है
to
और कईयों के
remember
साथ
Baba
कर्म बंधन रहा
again.
भी नहीं शरीर का कर्म बंधन लौकिक छूट गया
Then what happens is that even
यहाँ
if
ईश्वरी
Lokik
परिवार में
bondages
किसके
are
साथ
finished,
ऐसा
but
कर्म
then
का
a
बड़ा हो
bondage
जाता
with someone
है
in the Alokik
बात
family, in the
सही
godly
से
Brahmin
ये
family,
समझो मैंने
that's
उसके
created then.
राय अनुसार चली
So it's all because
उसने मुझे कुछ चलाया मैं
that
चली
one obeyed somebody
अगर मैं
else's
जो
dictates.
चाहूँ ना बाबा के अनुसार चलूँ
So
तो
if
नहीं
I
चल
do
सकेगी
that,
उसमें रुकावट
I
आएगी
will never be able to maintain
मैं
the
बाबा
stage
के
of
अनुसार जो
belonging
बाबा
to
चाहे
Baba.
मैं चलूँ वो उसमें मजबूर हो जाएंगे
Then I sometimes will become
नहीं चल
helpless.
सकती
I
और
will not
उनके
be able
अनुसार
to
चलना
stay
पड़ेगा
long in it because I will have to obey that person
कहीं ऐसे यज्ञ
whose
भी
dictates
प्रचलन
I'm
हुआ
following.
बाबा ने कहा था ये
There are
परिवार
many
आया था ना
instances in the
ज्ञान
yajna.
सुनने के लिए नहीं आया था
Baba would say,
नहीं तो
see,
हिसाब
this
किताब
one,
चुकू का नहीं
he came to Baba not because he was pulled towards Baba, but he came
बड़ा
because there
हिसाब
was some
किताब
karmic account of
मैं
that
किसी
soul
का
with someone in the
पहले वाला
yajna.
जो मेरा जहाँ है
And
चुप
then,
करूँ अभी किससे न बनाऊं ये
so
चाहिए
what is
समझ ये है
important
योग
that I need to understand that I should not create any more karmic accounts with
समझो
any
अगर
human
मेरा कहाँ
souls.
हिसाब किताब मैं योग कोशिश करेंगे लगाने के लिए वो हिसाब
If I
किताब
do, then that
लगाने नहीं
karmic
देगा
account will not allow me to have yoga.
अपना जो है ना अपने कुछ न कुछ करने के लिए या चिंतन में भी चिंतन में
Because
भी खींच लेना
even if I'm trying to remember Baba, that time that the
चिंतन
pull of
में
human soul will come. So in my thoughts,
कोई
in
घेराव
my
करने हुए
churning, if
तो
somebody
माथा मार के दिमाग फट जाता है यहाँ तक बोलने के लिए
somebody
पड़ता है
pulls my mind and intellect, then however much I may try, I'll never be able to do yoga. So, Dadi, do you think that is happening a lot in us nowadays? And Dadi says, majority.
सच सच बोलो
Yeah, to
हम
tell
कभी
you
सोचते हो
frankly,
लगता
I'm
है
speaking the truth.
कैसे कैसे
And some
अभी
say, how, Daddy?
अभी
But I
रियली
say,
मैं
yes,
आप
let
नहीं
me tell
उठाएंगे
you, I won't tell you to raise your hand, but then how much you have to labor in yoga, is it not?
योग मैंने तो
Why do you need to
योग
labor?
मैंने तो बाबा का प्यार की शक्ति चला
In yoga, we
योग बना बाबा की
experience Baba's love.
प्यार की
That's
शक्ति चला
the power
और
of love
निराकारी
is
बनाती है
moving us.
अहंकार
It makes us incorporeal, egoless, viceless easily. What is there to be egoistic about?
कार्य स्थिति से जो रस बैठता है ना
So when I'm enjoying the essence of all relationships with Baba, then why should the mind and intellect be pulled anywhere else? So we should all redefine yoga, is it not? We should all redefine yoga. What do you think?
नहीं डीप जाए
Now, what we need, Dadi says, is to go deeper, not remember Baba with a gross intellect, but with a very subtle intellect.
महीनता में
We have to go very deep,
समझो पेट्रोल
and in a
जितना
deep
महीन
way,
होगा,
because as
जितना साफ
refined,
होगा,
as clean the petrol
उतना
is,
कोई भी गाड़ी में या
that
प्लेन का तो और
quickly
महीन होगा
the
निकल आने जाना है
vehicle will move.
तो
And also the
मैं
plane
और भी बता
needs
देती हूँ
very,
कईयों
very
का
pure
सेवा भी
fuel.
काम चलाओ
Some,
योग भी
and let
काम
me tell
चलाओ
you, there are some
मुरली सुन के
who
काम चलाओ
do service just for name's sake, who hear the murli for name's sake. They come to the class only for name's sake.
Not at the beginning, but later on.
जब भी हम
And Maureen says that maybe this happens later on. It doesn't happen at the beginning, but after some time, this attitude happens. And Dadi says, "Yeah, why does the intellect become like that? There are reasons for that."
समझो ज्ञान में मैंने पाँव रखा
Let me tell you that he says, see, that when I come to Baba,
तो
I
कदम
enter
कदम पर ध्यान रखना
knowledge.
मैं हमेशा कहती हूँ
I
पूरा मुझे जो ज्ञान है ना उसमें ध्यान देना है
so
पढ़ाई में ध्यान देना
I have to pay attention to the study. I have to pay attention to the company I keep. I have to pay attention to the practice continuously.
प्रैक्टिस मेरी
So,
अभ्यास कंटिन्यू नहीं
if
होगा
the practice is not
कोई
continuous,
भी वकील जज
then
कोई
to
भी होगा
then
उसकी
to
प्रैक्टिस कंटिन्यू नहीं होंगी
it
भले
cannot
रोज
go
पढ़ा
on
हुआ
for
है
long.
विश्वास उसको भी
That
नहीं
is,
होगा मेरी प्रैक्टिस
it will
कंटिन्यू
not be effective. Just
दूसरों
like
का
any
विश्वास नहीं
doctor,
होगा
any
मैं
lawyer,
उसकी प्रैक्टिस
he needs to continue the practice. It should be
पर्सनल अपन
a
प्रैक्टिस को
lasting
कंटिन्यू
practice.
रखने से
Similarly, here too, the practice has to continue and continue,
अटेंशन रहता है
and therefore the proper
और
attention
हमेशा कोई
has
भी
to
काम
be
होता है ना
given all the time.
कंटिन्यू अच्छी तरह से दिल से करो ना
So,
जब तक पूरा
when the
नहीं किया तो
practice is
छोड़ोगे
continued,
तो खुशी से करते
then we will do it with love. We
बीच
will
में
do
छोड़
it with
दिया
enthusiasm.
फिर से करो
But if we
छोड़
leave it
दिया
in
फिर
between
से
and
करो
then start, again leave in between
बड़ा
and then
मेहनत
start, then that takes up a lot of labor. Then becomes difficult too.
योग माना संबंध
So yoga means relationship, and
संबंध में
in relationship too there is truthfulness, there is loyalty, faithfulness, and that makes
वो
the
ये
strength
विचार ही नहीं चलता
be
है
accumulated.
सच्चाई वफादारी भगवान के साथ संबंध में कितना बल मिलता है
Just imagine if I'm very faithful to God,
वो
I'll get so much strength, won't I? But we don't pay attention to
आत्मा
that.
निर्बल हो जाती है
And that's why the soul becomes weak.
और निर्बल को कहेंगे चलो
And you tell a weak person to walk, he will walk a few steps, again stop. You push him, then he'll walk a few steps, then he'll stop. And then, they say, probably it's not in the drama for me to continue.
तो ये थकावट भी आती है
So,
ना
even if the tiredness comes, it's because the efforts are not continuous.
थकावट किस कारण से भी हुई किस कारण से
If there is tiredness for any reason, you can finish the tiredness in a second. This is yoga.
थकने में आप एक दिन लगाया सदा ही थके हुए होंगे
If you are tired for one day, then you'll be tired forever.
योग ना काम
And actually, it's not that a lot of work has been done. Neither yoga is done. So neither yoga nor any work, but still the tiredness is there.
अनेकों का भला होवे
Why not instead be active, be enthusiastic all the time? So the tiredness is also in the mind.
थकावट कभी भी होए ये मेरे पर्सनल कहते हो पुरुषार्थ में
When I tell about personal efforts, I say this, that if there's even a little bit of tiredness, it will increase and increase. But that
आगे अपने पास
tiredness should not be made to stay. It should be finished in a second, because if I remain tired, then I will limp and walk. So what do you do, Miraben says, to finish that tiredness? Nari says, just sit like this, that's all. That's what I do. See, when I sat in the car, some were talking, and I said, now silence. So, the battery has to be continuously charged. Even if I'm a little bit careless, then the battery can get discharged.
I feel
So Maureen says that I think that you are more detached from your body than before. You are more detached from your body than before.
because even though
नहीं
Daddy,
attachment रखने मतलब
And Dadi saying,
मैं ये कहती
Dadi saying,
really, there's no whatever.
where is the question of being attached?
There's no
So Maureen is saying that what is like the body is not affecting you. Your body is like separate from you. So nothing happens to you at all, to the soul at all. Nothing of the body affects the soul at all, is it not? Dadi is saying, even that's a difficult language to say soul and body separate. That's a long process.
अभी सुनो
So,
जब क्या सुनो सुनो ये जो गीत बना था पीछे बना
this song was made later. There's a song, wherever the mind is, there the body goes. Where the mind goes, there the body goes. Where the body goes, there the wealth goes. So that's an old song. That's on the basis of experience. So where the mind goes, there the body goes.
मन मेरा तन में होगा
If the mind is in the body, then
धन में होगा
if the mind is in the wealth, then
मतलब
instead of keep your mind in me, it will be keep your mind in wealth.
मन मेरा न धन में
Keep your mind in body, in the body. So, but Baba says, no, keep your mind in me.
सुनो मन मना होंगे
So, if we keep the mind in Baba, then the body and wealth, all that is for Baba. So, why have a long, why take a long process, a long path? So no karmic accounts, Maureen says then. So, Daddy, Miraben is saying that, Daddy, what we see in you is that you are totally detached from the body. The body is doing its work and the soul is doing its work. As if you don't even know what's happening to the body. And Daddy is saying that if I ask the body why you have come, like why this problem has come, why this physical problem will come, it will stay there. So I never ask my illness why you have come. If I say why have you come, then he will, then anyone you ask why you have come, he'll give 10 reasons why I have come. So why not? We should not even ask anyone why you have come. So I should not ask the illness why you have come. So whatever, actually, I should not be the same what I was 5 years ago or 10 years ago. I'm not the same. Anyway, that's why should I even think of what I was 5 years ago or 10 years ago? We have a habit of thinking of the past, past and others. Past and others. So whole time the mind and intellect are in that. But we have to take the mind and intellect from the past and others. Past and par. Par means others. So take the mind and intellect out of that. Past and others. So if you have to check, if we check, where are the mind and intellect going? Okay, traffic control.
I'd like to ask Daddy a question about.
I would like to ask a question to Dadi about fear.
And say, there's a saying that fear is the opposite of love.
There's a saying that fear is the opposite of love. Where there is fear, there can't be love, and where there's love, there can't be fear. Sometimes when we know we have to, Dadi has been speaking about, and Baba also gave the message of becoming like a volcano, fearless. Sometimes it's easy to be fearless about the external things, external challenges. But when we are transforming ourselves, we are fearful of leaving behind our old sanskars, and we go backwards.
Connected to fear,
and
even though Baba,
also connected to fear. Baba and also the Dadis have so much love for us, such good feelings for us. But we are sometimes fearful of the Dadis. They are Baba's instruments. Why do we sometimes are fearful of the Dadis? Because fear becomes an obstacle. So Miraben is repeating, where there is love, there is no fear. Where there is fear, there is no love. So Baba says that we have to become like a volcano, very powerful. So it's very easy to face the external challenges, but then to change our old sanskars, in that we feel frightened. So how to be fearless and finish our old sanskars completely so that they are destroyed forever. And secondly, the Dadis have such pure feelings, good wishes for us. In spite of knowing all that, why are we sometimes afraid of coming closer to the Dadis? How to finish that fear of the Dadis? We're afraid of coming closer to them. So, the first question, so we become like volcano-like in challenging external situations. Dadi says it's not possible to become a volcano whilst facing external challenges if we are not having a stage of volcano for facing the inner challenges. So it's only when we are strong enough to face the inner challenges will we be able to face the external challenges, because only when there is a volcano-like stage we will be able to face even the external situations, external circumstances. Because if Baba has said that your last stage will be destroyed of obstacles, volcano-like stage, but for that we have to make our stage. We have to light the fire of love very strong in us. Just like if we want to melt gold, we need a different type of fire. In order to melt iron, we need very strong, very powerful fire, because ordinary fire cannot melt iron. So now the intellect has become iron-like, and therefore we need very powerful fire like intellect to destroy the iron stage in us.
And silver or gold.
So we have to melt the iron, and then after that melt the copper, melt the silver, and then become gold. That because gold has value. So first the intellect has to melt the iron in us. Dadi is seeing how they are melting. When you come to Madhuban, who thinks that they melt? They are melting.
मेरी बात समझ रहे
They
हैं?
melt. The iron finishes
को अंदर जैसे हमारी
in
लोहे
them.
जैसी बुद्धि थी ना,
So before our
वो अंदर
intellect
ही
was like
अंदर
iron,
ज्ञान
wasn't
के
it?
लगन की अगिन से
But because of the love for
से बुद्धि
knowledge,
से नहीं,
love for Baba, not just with
लगन के
intellect,
अगिन से
but
अंदर ही
the
अंदर
loveful intellect for Baba,
परंतु क्या
that
हुआ क्या है, खुद को
made the
बदलना
iron
है
in us melt.
वो रह गया है,
But what has happened
दूसरों की
is that
बदलने की
we
जिम्मेदारी
have
उठा ली।
forgotten that we have to melt. We have taken the responsibility of others and we want others to melt. We have become very good teachers, we have become center in charges, and we think others should change, others should change. You know, whenever anybody talks to me, oh, that one should change to me, the system should change, that should change, that should change. That's what they say. But we never told anything in front of Baba like that. Baba, that should change, or this one should change. I have to change. I have to change. That's what we told Baba.
लोहे से सोना तो क्या,
I will change.
पार्ट्स बनना है।
Not just become gold like, but I have to
जब वो
become
कभी
the
बोलती नहीं है,
touchstone.
जब यूरोपियन टीचर्स भी
The touchstone.
मैं कहा सोना बन गए कोई बड़ी बात नहीं है,
It's, I was telling the European teachers in Oxford
ऐसी
that
क्वालिटी बने जो हमारे
it's not that I have to
कोई
just
लोहे
become
जैसा
gold like, but then
सोना
I
बन
should
जाए।
become like the touchstone, so that whoever comes
वो
in
हमको
contact
अंदर
with
से
me
ऐसी
should be able
क्वालिटी
to
बनना है,
become like gold.
जरा भी अल्लाह मिक्स न हो,
Not even the slightest trace of alloy should
सबका
be in me.
विश्वास
Only
बाबा में
then people will have faith
खुद में आए,
in
मुझे
Baba
नहीं
through
बनना,
me.
इनको बनना है शायद
But
इनका
he
दूसरा
should be
लेवल
like
हो,
that, he should
मैं
become
रह
like that.
जाएंगी।
I will stay behind if I think in this way.
मुझे अपना बाबा बाबा को देखो ना, अंत
See
तक
Baba, till the last
मुरली चलाते
stage,
थे तो खुद अपने
last moments, he
सद्दाम बाबा को देखा,
spoke the Murli and
मुरली
then
चलाई,
he
टीचर
was in his
बाप ने
in
टीचर
his
का उद्धारण
own
किया,
stage, own churning. He was all by himself.
परमात्मा बाप ने टीचर का रूप था, फिर बाबा कहते हैं मैं भी तो स्टूडेंट बन के पढ़ रहा हूँ,
Brahma Baba
सुन रहा हूँ, सुना
always would say, I
सारा दिन
am a
बाबा क्या
student,
करता है,
I am a student. The teacher speaks through this one, and I, as a student, listen to what the teacher speaks.
अपनी
So I have to keep checking myself again and again, day and night.
हमको बाबा की तरफ खींच रहा है,
See, Baba is pulling the intellect towards Shiv Baba.
इसको ये तो
Shiv
देखते ही
Baba is
कैसे
pulling the
फंसाता है,
intellect towards himself and saying,
ये
child,
जो मैं
don't
समझ
see
लूँ
this
हर एक
one.
को
See
इस
Baba.
सवारी
So
लीन
the
अपने पर ये ध्यान
see
जरूर
this
रखो,
one, yes, but follow him, but remember
तो
me.
अपने पर ध्यान रखेंगे तो
So pay
बाबा
attention
आपको
to
अच्छी
yourself.
मदद करेंगे, करता है।
Then Shiv Baba will help you. Baba helps a great deal. Definitely, he helps a great deal.
दूसरा प्रश्न का दूसरा भाग था कि आप
So the second thing is,
ब्राह्मणों के लिए दादियों का बहुत
as
शुभ भावना रहती है,
you know,
परंतु फिर भी वो आपके
you dadis have good wishes for everyone, but why are some afraid of approaching you? They are afraid,
एक बारी अब क्लास
they
में बोला
fear
बाबा कोई
you.
नहीं था, बच्चे
Daddy
जब
says,
दादी कहने
I remember in one Murli, Baba said, as Baba said, just as Baba speaks about being egoless and viceless, Baba also says, be fearless. Why be frightened of anyone? Why have fear at all?
जिसने कुछ किया हुआ है,
Actually, who is frightened? The one who has done something wrong and he hasn't said sorry, or he hasn't asked for forgiveness, or probably he's not realizing that he's made a mistake. He will be frightened. If someone has made a mistake and he realizes it and asks for forgiveness, then why should he be frightened at all? So he's frightened because he's not asking for forgiveness,
ये बात बुद्धि में
or
नहीं
he
है,
has made a mistake and there's guilty consciousness inside. That's why he's
पांच
afraid.
जन्मों का विक्रम नाश हो जाए, अब इस जन्म का अभी मैंने कुछ
So Baba says, actually, in this life of ours, if we have done something wrong, we should just ask for forgiveness from Baba and finish it.
जितना भी किया उनका
We
फौरन
don't
बाबा
know
से
of
माफी
our
मांगी,
past lives, but at least of this life we know. No?
एक
Let
मिनट
me
नहीं,
tell
बाबा
you,
मुझे माफ करो,
in my
मुझे क्षमा
lifetime,
करो,
whenever I made a
बाबा
mistake, I
मेरा दोष
always
है,
went to Baba and said, Baba, I made this mistake.
मैंने
And
ये
Baba would
किया,
tell me, no, child, it's not
तो
your fault. I
मैंने
would say,
नहीं
no,
किया,
Baba, I made this mistake. Baba
तो
would
आज
say,
बाबा का
okay, it
साल
doesn't
अगर बीत
matter.
जाए,
It's good you told Baba. So in this way, Baba used to make
मौत
me
भी सामने नहीं आ
fearless.
सकता,
And now we say, yes, we have no fear of anyone, even no fear of death.
हर समय
Because
जो की हुई गलती है
whatever mistake
वो माफ हो जाए,
I have made, that if I have surrendered to Baba and also made a promise that I will not make that mistake again, then the fear goes instantly. So we have to pay attention to see that we don't make the mistake again, because Baba says if you make a mistake after the realization, after the understanding, then the punishment is hundredfold.
पर औरों की गलती बताता रहे, उसको भय बड़ों के सामने बिल्कुल डर लगता है, आने की हिम्मत नहीं होगी.
So, if someone makes a mistake but doesn't speak out, doesn't reveal to Baba, he'll be afraid to come closer to the seniors. Even if we tell them come, but they will not come closer to the seniors, because they have no strength to speak the truth, they have no strength to realize, and they don't even think of asking for forgiveness. Then why won't the fear be there? So dadis have love for them, the dadis see, and well, if they approach the seniors, and dadis will give them love, dadis won't do anything else. We saw in Baba that, many times they would come in front of Baba, but Baba would not say anything to them. Baba would give them so much love, so much love. Baba is so merciful. You should understand that dadis are merciful, they won't kill you. At least come in front of the dadis, but some don't have that power to come in front of the dadis. How will they face the dadis? And they're not sinful souls, Maureen says, but they get nervous. They haven't done anything bad or something vicious, but they're not sinful souls. They haven't done any big sin, but they become nervous. And Dadi says they become nervous because of this. If they have the courage to be truthful, they'll never be nervous. And because very often I'll tell you a practical example. One soul had done something wrong, and he wrote to me. I don't even remember what, but that he had made a mistake, because I saw with my own eyes that there was another soul who had done very many bad, sinful acts, very wrong acts, and all the Sindhi people knew that. And that one said, I want to go to Baba, I want to go to Baba. So I wrote a letter to Baba. Baba, this one says that he wants to go to Baba. Baba said, yes, bring him. So and Baba knew him very well, his Lokik occupation, his Lokik family. Baba knew everything. So when I took him to Baba, whenever he stays in Pandav Bhavan, so that place was for the brothers. So Baba told me, tell this child that whatever you have done, you write everything, then Baba will meet you. So he wrote everything. And he agreed and wrote everything, whatever bad things he did in life. And then Baba sat in the history hall, and I was sitting next to Baba, and he put that paper in front of Baba, and he said, don't touch, this is dirty things. And that Baba told me, no need to touch this paper. And then Baba told him, okay, there is a fire lit outside, just throw it in that furnace and destroy it. And then Baba didn't allow me to touch that paper. Baba didn't read it himself too. And Baba told him instead, take it and put it in the fire, destroy it in the fire, and then come.
तो हमारे क्या परिये जो किसके
So,
पाप कर्म
why
को
should
उनकी
we
जिंदगी में
think
उन्होंने
of
की जरूरत
anyone's
नहीं है।
sinful acts or hear anyone what
कहीं
wrong acts
डरते
he
मैं
has
तो इसको
done?
सुनाने लगे
So, some people
महाराज
think that, oh, if we
ऐसी
tell the
ऐसी सोच
dadis
के
and the
भी डर लगता
dadis
है
may tell someone else,
कहीं ना जावे
then
कहीं ना हो जावे।
it will be
अरे
revealed. Oh,
भगवान
why do you
है
think
तुम
like
सोचो
that?
सही ना
God is
उनके
so
आगे जो किया
powerful.
है
If
संसार
you
के
just
वो
surrender
सीन
to
में लिखा
Baba,
है
it
तो
will be
जब भी कोई
destroyed.
लिखेगा भी ना हम क्या करेंगे।
So even if somebody writes, what am I going to do with it? I won't take it, but he'll become lighter for the future. He'll become
डर तो
peaceful.
निकल
At
जाए
least his
तो
fear
प्यारे
will
से
go.
शुभ भावना
And then
इसी
with
को
the
मैंने
good
कहा भाई 20
wishes,
साल से
everything will be
शुभ भावना
finished.
रखी है।
I told someone
यूज नहीं
that for
करता
the
पापा
past
मेरे
20
साथ
years I've kept good wishes for you.
फिर मैं बेटी
And
हूँ
I send to
फिर
you,
पापा
but then
साथ
it
भी
comes
है
back.
कोई
I
ये नहीं है
send to you,
पापा
it
साथ
comes
गुलशन करता है
back.
कहीं
It comes
पोस्ट
back to
वापस
me.
आते
It's
नहीं
like, you
फाइन मैन भी
post
नहीं
and
बन
it comes
जाता
back, you're fined. But here is
तो
no,
अभी
there's no
उसका
fine.
बंसी
But now,
छूटा
then I told him, learn to use the
अभी
good wishes, and
देखिए
now he has
फिर
used
इस
those good
भले
wishes.
वापस भी करो मैं देना थोड़ी
So
छोड़ेंगे।
even if he
Thank you.
returns, still,
Very
I will
happy
not
to
stop
hear Daddy's
giving it
answer
back to
because I
him.
know that
So
I used to
Maureen
be very
says,
scared of Daddy. I don't
Maureen
think I was a
says,
very
even I
sinful
was
soul.
very
Maybe I
scared
was,
of
but
Daddy. Not that I was a
not so
sinful
scared
soul,
of him.
though.
That's why I'm saying.
मुझे भी दादी से पहले बहुत डर लगते थे, अभी नहीं लगता।
Now I'm not
मुझे भी
afraid
दादी
of
से पहले
Daddy.
बहुत डर लगता था, अभी नहीं लगता है। वैसे मैं कोई
I'm not a
वरना
sinful soul,
पर डर लगता था
but I was afraid of
अभी नहीं
Daddy.
लगता
नहीं
Now I'm not
इसीलिए एक
afraid.
छोटी भूल भी करती है तो सुनना भी रह नहीं सकता
And Dadi Janki says
अभी
now
नहीं
the
लगता
time
सुनाने
is
के
that
बगैर
even
रह
if
नहीं
she makes a
सकती है
small mistake,
उसकी चांस लेती
she
है दर दर
cannot
दर
stay
कहती है
without
लेने आओ
telling me,
कहती है
and
समझ
she
लो
looks for chances to
सुनाना
meet me and tell
ये
me
नहीं
what
कहती है
mistake she has made.
ऐसे
And I
तुम
also
क्यों भी
tell
हो
her, come,
Genti
come.
Ben told me the
And
other day
she
that,
tells me,
you worry too much. Your
Janti Ben
conscience
told
is
me
too
once that you
strong.
worry
I
too
said,
much, your conscience is too strong.
Is it
I
really
said,
too strong?
I
जयंती
said,
बेन ने मुझे
it's
कहा
better for it to be
चिंता करते
strong
हो तुम्हारी जो
than the
कॉन्शियंस
conscience
है
to
ना
be
वो
weak.
बहुत पावरफुल है, इसलिए छोटी छोटी बातों में
इसलिए
तुम्हारी चिंता
that's
करती
why
है।
you
वो
worry
कहती
about
है कि
small
क्या
things. So
कॉन्शियंस
is my
इतना
conscience
शक्तिशाली
too
बहुत पावरफुल हो
strong?
सकता है।
That's
भाई
why
अभी सुनो
I worried about little things.
I'm preparing
भाई
my
प्राइवेट
soul.
बातें जैसे चल रही
So
हैं
it's
ये
like
बात
private conversation going on here,
अभी ये हर
private in
बात का
public.
थोड़ा
So
चिंता
Daddy says
करती है
that, let me tell you, she does worry about small
दिन
matters
भले
also.
अच्छी होए
Uh,
ऐसे न कि ठीक न हो जाए
that
कुछ
this
भी नहीं
thing
कहता
should happen well, everything should be perfect. You know, like old ladies, they want everything to be
हो सकता है
perfect.
सुन मेरी बात है
दादी
कुछ
से
जो
इंटरव्यू
कि
हुई
नेचर
एक्चुअली
होती है
So,
नेचर
old
बहुत
ladies,
ध्यान रखती है बहुत
they
ध्यान
are very cautious. They pay attention to
ध्यान
everything,
रखती है
small, minor
तो
things.
उसने बाबा को कभी देखा
And
बाबा
you
ऐसा
saw in
बिल्कुल
Baba, Baba was a carefree
एक
king.
बारी हम छोटे हाल में
I remember once, in History Hall,
देखा बाबा यहाँ
I
अंदर
saw
डांस कर रहा था
Baba was dancing
छोटे हाल में
in the
ऐसे ऐसे
hall,
बच्चे से नाचना
dancing in the hall. So I said, Baba, oh, what are you?
वहाँ
And
अंदर
you
पोस्ट ऐसे
see,
लिखा पत्र ऐसे
he
लिखे
wrote
मैंने
so many letters,
इसीलिए किया
and I
मगर फिर
translated
ऐसे
all what Baba
पोस्ट
wrote.
ऐसी थी
And
लेकिन अंदर डांस कर रहा
and inside he was dancing.
था
It
मैंने
was
कहा
very.
इतना बेफिक्र
And
रहता है
I said, oh, Baba,
मैं कैसे
it can
बनूं
remain so carefree. How will I become like Baba?
इतनी कारोबार
So much
इतने
work,
बच्चे कभी बाबा
so
करे कुछ
many,
और बच्चे करे कुछ और
like, Baba would say something and
बिल्कुल
children would do something else.
अच्छे अच्छे बच्चे सामना भी करे ऐसी बातें भी चल रही है पर
So,
अंदर देखो नाच रहा है
so many points, so many obstacles coming, but here
ये
Baba
अंदर
was
जो प्रैक्टिस
dancing
हल्के रहने की
on his
ब्राह्मण का
toes. So,
फिर
this is
बाबा जानता है सबका
what Baba
भला
wants
करना
us to
है
be. Baba knows that he has to
ऐसा करने से
give benefit
अपना
to all
चिंतन जो
souls,
है
but
ईश्वर
then
चिंतन में कमी पड़
if
जाती
we start worrying, then we will not be able
है
to
अंदर की ईश्वर से शक्ति
uh,
लेना
take power from Baba, not be
हमेशा
able to
वही खुद ही
remember
कहते हैं,
Baba.
हम काम की कॉन्शियस हो जाती है
Then we become too conscious of work only,
कर्म कॉन्शियस
or action conscious only.
कर्म योगी
We are karma yogis, aren't we? Okay, everything will be okay. Baba is there.
विधि जो है ना
So
न्यारे रहने की और एक्यूरेट बनना है.
we have to be
So then
accurate.
how can
We
we
have to be
keep this
detached too.
state of inner cleanliness is one of the
So how
questions.
do we
Because
keep this inner
it's not that
cleanliness?
we can come and tell you every little thing.
It's not that we can
That
tell
would
you
take
every
too much
little
time.
thing, that will
So is
take
it
too
a
much
question
time.
of
So,
being able to just
but then
get into
how
that
to
state
be
of being
able
so
to
carefree, even if little
get to
things
that
come,
stage
we
of
just
being
change it.
carefree. We
When do we
change,
need
and if
to
any little thing
unburden
comes,
ourselves?
we
So
just
how can
change
we
and become
really,
carefree
really
again. So how do we keep that lightness?
को सदैव साफ रखना चाहिए. तो इसका मतलब नहीं है कि हर छोटी बात जो कुछ छोटी-छोटी बातें होंगी, हर एक बात को
So
हम सामने लाएंगे.
so many matters come up, but it doesn't mean that we have to tell you even little things. So
सामने लाए जो हमारा बोझ खत्म हो जाए. हर छोटी बात को नहीं. तो
it's
हम
not
देर
every matter has
और
to be
ऐसी
brought
कोई
to
बात
you
कौन सी बात जो हम आपके सामने ला करके हम अपने बोझ को हल्का करें.
so that we can lighten ourselves.
बात करने का
Actually,
बात सुनाने का टाइम ही नहीं रहेगा.
now very soon we will see that there won't be
सुनाओ
time
तब तक बात
to
पूरी नहीं
tell
होगी.
these little matters. Even before you tell, that matter will finish.
अभी आज मैंने किसी को प्रैक्टिकल
Today,
बताया.
I told someone in
4
a
ईमेल
practical way there were 4 emails
10 दिन के अंदर
within 10
जब तक मैं
days.
जवाब दूं.
So until I reply, just sitting here, everything changed. The first email was different from the second email, then different from the third email, the fourth email. So very soon everything changed. And even before I replied, everything became all right. So you stay in your stable stage, your high stage, and things will become all right by themselves. And
सूक्ष्म सेवा
the art will come of staying stable and giving the good wishes, and things will become all right.
होना चाहिए. इनका बहुत स्वभाव खराब है.
Somebody
मुझे
would
जायज
tell me,
बताती जाएंगी. मैं सुनती
somebody would tell me that, this one, her behavior is very bad.
अरे आप
Or
स्वभाव उनका
he is very
आप
bad,
सुनाने के
she
लिए
is very
दूसरा
bad.
विचार
That
करके
means,
सुनाओ.
should I
मैं
give
टाइम
time to that one, to listen to that person, to see how bad that one's behavior is? But instead, you become like that so that you're able to change his behavior. Then there's no need to even to tell Dadi about that one's bad behavior, because how to what extent have you reached
स्वभाव का प्रभाव
so
आपके
that
ऊपर
you are
पड़े,
not
दबावेगा
influenced
पड़े.
by that one's nature, by that one's sanskar, you're not affected, so that you have to come and tell Dadi, or because even in order to, before you tell Dadi, you will think about it yourself, and it's waste and a lot of energy and time used in that, but that won't enable that one to change. So we don't have to use our energy in that. We have to make our nature like Baba's nature.
तो नेचर बाबू का. बाकी बैठ के सोचेंगे इसकी नेचर.
But if you think, oh, this one's nature is like that one's nature is like that, and that will accumulate in the intellect, then when will you become karmatit?
वैसी नेचर बनेगी.
Because
जिसके लिए सोचेंगे
whatever we think of or about whom we think, that type of nature we will get
हमारा
to.
मेडिटेशन माना
So
क्या है.
what is our meditation?
आपको अंदर ही अंदर
Our meditation is
जैसा मेरा बाबा
that we have to become like
जैसी
Baba.
नेचर न बनाएंगे.
We have to make our nature like Baba's nature. So if we do not make our nature like Baba's nature, then I will not be called Janki, because I will not be able to reveal Baba. Janki means Baba gave that name to me with a great hope in me, is it
नाम
not?
से काम लिया है बाबा.
He gave the name on the basis of the hope he kept in me. So if I don't keep up to Baba's hope, if I don't reveal the Father
ये
in
बात
that
ध्यान
way,
पर है ना.
then how can I keep up
कोई
to that
बताने वाली
name?
बात आपके अभी नहीं रहेंगी.
So,
है नहीं बात.
if we think in this way, then these minor
एक
matters
व्यक्ति कभी
finish
पूछो, इस साल ही
automatically.
आप पूछे 2003 की क्या बात है. 3 की कुछ नहीं करेंगी. 2002 में क्या हुआ है. कई बातें अच्छी हुई है.
So many things have happened in 2002.
I was going to ask if anybody
Okay.
particularly has a
Is
question to
anyone
clarify
who has a question to ask, anything to clarify, anything, anyone, any burning
अच्छा
question?
मेरे को संकल्प आया
Dadi says, let me speak. I had a thought. So this is interview is
पूरा हो गया
finished.
ना
Interview finished, okay?
इनफ है ना
Enough?
नहीं नहीं
Enough?
क्वेश्चन नहीं चाहिए
No more questions.
The sisters from Bharat who would like to sing Dadi's favorite song, you're most welcome to do that.
क्या कहते हैं
Some sisters of Bharat want to sing Dadi's favorite song.
आवाज़ बोलो
अंत में वो गीत गाना चाहते हैं जो आपके दिल पसंद गीत है
भले भले
वो
गाएं।
मैंने कहा भले गाए
अच्छा सुनो
But before that,
मुझे ख्याल आया अभी अभी
a thought came in my mind.
पहली तारीख 11 बजे
On the 1st,
सभी इकट्ठे
at
हुए
11 o'clock, all of you gather in this hall.
पहली तारीख
On the
नया
1st,
साल है।
after Baba's program on the 31st,
साल का
on the 1st,
अपन उन्नति
all
का
of us will
जो
gather
सुनाने
here
चाहिए।
and you give your feedback
ऐसा सुनाए
of the past year 2002 and what you are taking for from Madhuvan for the new year
पुराने साल की समाप्ति
and finishing off
जो अभी
in the old
मुझे
year,
लगता है
because
कि मैं कितने वीक रही हूँ बहुत
I've been here for so many weeks now. How many weeks have I stayed? More than 1 month, 3 weeks.
ज़्यादा रही हूँ
I've stayed for more than 3 weeks. You were 1 week absent, Daddy was away, but
टोटल जो है ना
but total I've stayed
सब
1
यहाँ
month
टीचर
in
जानते हो,
India,
सबको बता दो
in Madhuban. Yes, so
ये अच्छी तरह से
it
ज्ञान
is.
सरोवर में रखेंगे
We will keep it in Gyan Sarovar at 11 o'clock on the 1st,
साल की समाप्ति
as it will be the end of the year and the beginning of the new year. The new year gift, each one will tell. You like it? Give your appreciation if you like it.
क्योंकि है थोड़ी
Yeah.
हीन और बहुत मीठी बात
It's a subtle thing, it's a very sweet thing. You have to reap the fruit of your efforts. You have worked very hard. Don't labor, but just
निर्भय रहो
be truthful, fearless,
लिए भी वैर
and no hatred for anyone,
ओम शांति
no fear of anyone,
Please stay.
Thank you, Daddy.
and then see the results.